Hi there and welcome to Mountain Moto Adventure. In today's video we're going to be going over the mods that I've done to my 1995 Suzuki DR350 SE. Without further ado, we'll start from the front and just work our way to the back. First off, we have the Shinko 244 Golden Boy tires, dual sport 50/50s. These do really good in pavement. They do really good off-road. They handle mud surprisingly well up into a point. When you start getting to thick clay and everything, then it's not very ideal, but every tire has its limits. For what it does it well. After that, I put on a lightweight brake rotor. The rotor that was on from the previous owner was warped, so I had to put on a new one, and I went ahead with this one, and it does the trick. It stops, and I have no complaints. From there, I've got the stainless steel braided brake lines. They just really give you a nice firm response. They also last longer than rubber hoses. I think they're a really great upgrade. From there, I got the Rm250 Forks, and I believe the triple clamp, that was something done by the previous owner. These things handle off-road so well. Bumps, rocks, whatever. It just eats it up. And for someone like me who's not a very experienced off-road rider, it makes everything feel very effortless, and so I'm a big fan of those. From there, I got the Polysport Rm250 Front Fender. I just thought it looked kind of cool, so I went ahead and got it, and it matches the DRZ headlight shroud that I put on here. And I think that really brings the bike out of 1995 into the modern era. It really makes the bike look a lot better, I think. From there, I took out the stock halogen light bulb and put in a LED. Uses less power, shines a brighter light. It's a no-brainer for me. I think it makes a big difference from the stock lighting. From there, I got auxiliary LED lights. Got them off Amazon, 20-30 bucks. I would not ride it dark, especially off-road, without these. They just, even with the LED bulb and the headlight, it just doesn't have the wide spread that the auxiliary lights will give you. From there, I got the Tusk bark busters. I've dropped this bike a ton of times and never broken a lever. These are really good for protecting your hands from branches and just shrubs when you're going through heavy brush on trails. So those are really nice. I don't think I'd have a bike without these as far as going off-road. From there, I got these. I can't remember the brand names, but I saw Everride recommend them. I had them on my last bike, so I put it on this bike. They're really soft and squishy. They absorb a lot of vibration, and they're really great, especially if you're doing pavement trips or anything. From there, I got grip warmers underneath, although the one on the left shorted out and stopped working, so I had to take that off. I still have one on the right. I'll probably fix that at the end of this year, coming into next winter. We're already halfway through winter here, so I'm not too worried about it. From there, I got a custom dash. The previous owner actually had a different dashboard, but due to a couple upgrades that I did, it wasn't compatible, so I had to make a new one. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm happy with how it turned out. He's had the Trailtech Endurance speedometer put on there. That works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it shows random numbers. Sometimes it shows no numbers at all. Most of the time, it seems to show a pretty accurate number for how fast you're going, so it works. Within there on the dash, I have the switch for the grip warmers. I have a 12-volt plug-in for my air compressor, and a USB port, along with a voltmeter, which has come in handy quite a few times. Had them for about a year, no problems with them so far, so those have worked out really well. Going from there, underneath, I have cheapo handlebar risers. I think they're about 1.25 inches. With the stock setup, I'm about 6 foot, and I was hunched over whenever I stood up. So getting the bar risers really changed the feel of the bike and really made it a lot more comfortable when it comes to riding off-road. So I've been really happy with that. From there, we've got the Nelson-Rigg tank bag. I haven't had this very long, maybe about a month. It's nice to have because I can put my camera bag and stuff in there. It makes it really easy and accessible. But I've already had one of the straps tear off from the bag just from tightening it up, which I was pretty bummed about. I would have expected such a vital point of this bag to be reinforced a little bit stronger, considering that's what holds the bag to the bike. But I sewed it back together with some heavy-duty upholstery threading, and it's held up so far, so hopefully I don't have any more issues with that. From there, I got the 4.25 gallon Clarke Oversized Tank. I could go about 2.5 gallons before having to hit reserve. I've never really ran it far below reserve, so I don't know how much it actually holds. The only thing I don't like with this tank is that the petcock sits here, and there's a section underneath it which you can't access with, you can't get the gas out of it. So there's just gas that'll sit here that you can't do anything with. I don't know why they designed it like that. I don't know. I don't understand it, but you know, whatever. You still get more out of this than you get out of a stock tank, and that's what matters to me. So I got the seat concepts tall comfort option. The stock seat, really uncomfortable, especially even after 30-40 minutes of riding. Your butt will start going numb. This was something I wish I'd done a lot earlier, but I finally got around to it this year. I've had it on here for probably about a month or two. Actually, probably about a month now, and it's just a night and day difference. So after the seat concept, I have the Nelson-Rigg Rackless saddlebags. I've had these for about a year now. Unfortunately, I've ran into the same issue that I had with the Nelson-Rigg tank bag. I was tightening down one of the straps, you know, nothing crazy, just getting it nice and snug, and the stitching tore right out of the bag. I wasn't very happy about it. I sewed it back together. It's pretty much held up ever since. I have dropped this bike quite a few times, and these bags have held up as far as that goes. So they are heavy duty, they're well constructed. The stitching and the vital points are of question, and that's the only complaint I have about these. From there, I got the Immx Tail Rack. This was hard to find. There's one left on Amazon. I almost bought it for $100. I came back the next day. It was 50% off. I got it for $50, and I have not seen them available ever since. So I don't know if they're discontinued. Maybe you just have to find it through a different website, but I'm glad that I got it because this thing is solid with the bike. It is super sturdy. I could drag the bike around with it. Super heavy duty. From there, I put an LED bulb in the taillight. It's brighter, uses less power. You know, it's all around a pretty good deal. I have the stock 15 tooth sprocket up front, and then I installed a 39 tooth on the rear. With the stock gearing, you're starting to ring out the bike at around like 55 miles an hour. So dropping this down to 39 pretty much gave me an extra 5-10 miles an hour of cruising speed. I can now cruise at like 60, 65-ish on the highway, and it feels like it could do it all day. 70 miles an hour is pretty much pushing it, but anything below that, it handles it a lot better. And let's see, I'll turn the bike around really quick for the last deal. So on this side, the previous owner installed a Kickstart Kit, which I would not have a dual sport that I ride out in the mountains solo without that, because this thing has saved my butt probably at least 5 times. I've been miles out in the mountains solo where I've ran into electrical issues, whether it's my battery terminals get corroded, get gunk on it, and it doesn't connect, or I've had issues where wires have shorted out underneath here, which have caused all my electronics not to work, meaning the electric start would not work. And without the kickstart, I would have been stranded far out in the mountains, late during the night in the dark and just would have been completely screwed. I would not do dual sport riding without this. This is a lifeline that is a lifesaver. I know there's a lot of people out there that say you don't need a kickstart. You can get all these, battery backups and all this and stuff. I just love the mechanical aspect of being able to kickstart your bike and just not having to worry about it. So that's something that's really been nice. After that, another thing that the previous owner installed, I've got a Fmf Aftermarket Exhaust. This thing is loud, and it's loud. That's about it. It's loud. It sounds really good though. So that about covers everything that I've done to this bike over about the last 14 months. Perhaps this video has given you some ideas for your own DR350 or even whatever bike you might have. Just some general modifications that you can do to a bike to suit it to do some lightweight adventure riding. I've probably put about $1,000 into this overall. So for under $2,500, I've gotten a great little lightweight ADV dual sport that I've taken all around Oregon, and I plan on doing even more trips this year on it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.